you tired of doing countless core workouts, tons of Kegels, endless stretching, but yet you're still dealing with back or pelvic pain? You are not alone. And in today's class, we are going over the number one mistake that is keeping you in back or pelvic pain. I see this all the time with my clients and they're super frustrated, but they're missing this one key thing. So when you're doing your core workouts, if you notice that your lower abdomen is pressing out, or you see bulging, or you're feeling pressure pushing down on your pelvic floor, what you're doing is creating a lot of inter-abdominal pressure. And what this does is it creates tension and tightness on the pelvic floor. And that can contribute to a number of different things, to include low back pain and pelvic pain. So the key to breaking this cycle, I know it might sound super boring, but it is breathing. How you are breathing is the first step into learning how to use your core and your pelvic floor system. Now, maybe in the past you've been told, well, you just have to engage your core to protect your back. So you've been sucking it in and engaging your core all of the time. But what that does is it, again, creates too much pressure in our abdominal area. And then that leads to more tension and more tightness. We want a core that is going to be able to react, respond, lengthen, adapt, activate to all of our daily movements that we have to do, not just constantly squeeze and hold tight, because that's not functional when we have to move around. And what other muscle in your body are you always like, oh, I've got to squeeze that and keep that tight? If we go to grab a glass and drink something, you don't have to say, okay, bicep contract, and so I can lift this glass. The same thing goes for our core and our pelvic floor. So let's get into how we're going to do this. Your breath. When we take a breath in for our core and our pelvic floor, you want to imagine it like a balloon. We're breathing out into our rib cage in all different directions: forward, backward, side to side, front and back. And then exhale, everything comes back together. When we breathe out to the sides, what's happening is our diaphragm, our breathing muscle, lengthens all the way down to our pelvic floor, lengthening our pelvic floor. And then as we exhale, the diaphragm comes back up and lifts the pelvic floor. So it's this constant relationship that is moving up and down, not constantly being gripped or tight, but we're lengthening and activating at all times. Now, if you notice that you do your core workouts where that stomach is pushing out, we're not able to let the diaphragm descend to lengthen the pelvic floor and then activate to come back up. If you hold your breath during the day, same thing, our diaphragm isn't able to descend down to lengthen out. This is the hardest part, and a lot of my clients get really frustrated with this, but if you stay with it and continue to practice it, it does come. So consistency is key here. The breath work, if you just try it now, you can sit, you can lay down. It's definitely easier laying down, but take a breath in. Maybe you put your hands on your rib cage, breathe out to the sides, front and back. Exhale, let it go. What do you feel? Can you feel that lengthening of the pelvic floor? And it's absolutely okay if you don't feel it on your first time. It does take practice. And also, a lot of times we have to address other areas first that impact our core and our pelvic floor, like our hips. Maybe our upper abs are too tight. Maybe something's going on with our feet or our spine. So there's so many different elements that goes into the breathing that if you're not feeling that connection, maybe working on those other areas first can be really helpful. So if you happen to have, let's say, a strap, you can use a belt or you can also use your hands. I love using this as feedback to let you know to place it at the bottom of your rib cage. And then you'll take a breath in and you'll feel your rib cage in all different directions pressing out. You want to be careful you don't see the shoulders coming up and shrugging or trying to take a really big belly breath. It's gentle, nice gentle breath. And let it go. This area is often super tight and stiff, whether it's we're stressed out, we sit a lot, we're driving, working behind our devices. When this area gets tight and stiff, it's hard for that diaphragm to lengthen because our rib cage isn't moving. So this is one big area to work on. But see if you feel that strap moving. I give a lot of my clients this exercise, place it around 2 minutes. Practice 2 minutes of breathing, whether you're sitting or laying down. Now, like I mentioned, sometimes other areas are really tight and tense, or we need to strengthen and work on the other areas first, like hips, feet, spine, our nervous system, and our abdomen. We're gonna target our upper abdomen because I see this very often with my clients. The upper abs can often be really tight. If you notice that it's really defined in the upper abs and not as defined down here, maybe you're an upper ab gripper doing a lot of things or kind of practicing that sucking in the core. So what we can do to help with that, I'm gonna show you a couple of options. We're gonna do an upper abdominal massage. So if you don't wanna use any props, first thing we'll do is we'll lay down. And you'll take your hands, just place them at the bottom of your rib cage. And just do some gentle massage coming down either direction. You can work one side, you can work the other side. You can hold and take a breath, pressing into those hands. Again, this is great. You can do it for about a minute. Now, if you've got a ball, or you can also roll up your yoga mat or a towel and place the yoga mat and towel just below the bottom of your rib cage. If you've got a ball or a tennis ball, you can use one or two. We don't want it on the rib cage, we want it just below, and you can lay down on your stomach, whether it's the ball or the yoga mat or a towel. Oh my goodness. And what you'll do is you'll inhale, breathe into the ball, and then exhale, let the ball or the yoga mat sink in. Now, if you've got the yoga mat or a towel, maybe you shift your weight more to one side. You can also rest your head down, relax your neck and shoulders. I'm just gonna stay up so you can hear me. And just gently breathing into that. You can let the hips wiggle side to side. It's great for the nervous system too. And we can switch sides. You can shift your weight to the left side if you're using the towel or the yoga mat. Just gentle breaths in and out. So with this technique, 30 to 60 seconds is plenty. Just sees one side a little tighter than the other. Good. Now we're going to come back to that same position of breathing. I want you to see if anything feels different. You can grab the strap if you want and place that strap around the bottom of your rib cage. You can place your hands at the bottom of your rib cage. Nice gentle breath in. And exhale, let go. And just see, is it easier to take a breath in? What do you notice? Now, sitting is definitely much more difficult than laying down, and sometimes being on your side is a little bit easier. So let me show you another position that you can get into so you can practice this breathing. And 2 minutes is great to get started. Maybe you do 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes before your workout. Maybe you do it at the end of the day. Maybe you're doing it in the middle of the day. But taking 2 minutes to really focus on this breathing can make the world of difference with how you're using your core and pelvic floor and getting rid of that back and pelvic pain for good. So let me show you that setup that I like. If you've got a bench or a couch, an ottoman, a chair, anything at all, you're gonna go up against that and place your legs up. I also love taking a pillow for your head and shoulders just to elevate up. And what this position does is it puts our abdomen on slack so that we can relax and focus on the breathing. So place those hands down at the bottom of your rib cage. Just think expanding all different directions. Inhale, we're lengthening down. Exhale, let it go. So I used to be a big breath holder and I didn't even realize I was doing it. And that was one of the things contributing to my hip and low back pain. So once I learned how to do this, didn't want to do it. I didn't want to slow down to have to practice it. But once I started learning about pelvic health, it made all of the difference in finally getting it to go away for good. So this feels good. You can stay here practicing this breathing. Again, it's 2 minutes. Neck and shoulders are relaxed. We're breathing all different directions, and it doesn't have to be very big breaths at all. If you're finding that these different positions or maybe the abdominal release is helpful and you want to learn more techniques that contribute into the core and the pelvic floor, I'll put lots of different resources down there for you below. We go over this inside our app, Defy, and our pelvic floor playbook program. It's kind of giving you the roadmap. Take one more breath in here. Nice. You can stay here if this feels really comfy, or if you want to come on out, just gently rolling out. Coming back, find a comfortable seated position, maybe the one that we started in, and come back to the breath. So it's just finding those couple of things that make a really big difference in what you're feeling with the breath. So take a breath in, exhale, let it go. I know breathing might not be the most exciting thing to do, but it really makes a world of difference throughout your day practicing this, when you're working out, when you notice that your symptoms come on, really check in with what's going on with your breath, because this is the biggest mistake that I see when I'm working with my clients, that they didn't even know they weren't doing it correctly. I didn't know when I was dealing with back and hip pain. So let's take one more big cleansing breath in. Lift those arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands down towards heart center. I'd love to know in the comments, what did you learn about your breath today? Maybe any questions you have about breathing. Maybe you're like me and didn't notice that you hold your breath all of the time and grip and hold things really tight. So let me know down below. Keep up the good work. Check that description box for more resources. And I can't wait to see you in the next class.